All right, let's jump right in. Have you ever stopped to think about the path your career is on? We all like to think it's this straight line, always moving forward, right? But what if for most of us, it's actually a loop? See, this whole explainer is about a really fundamental choice that I think every single one of us has to make. It's a choice between two totally different ways of leading and living.
And it really all boils down to this image right here, a fork in the road. And look, I know it sounds like a cliche, but this is so much more than just a metaphor. This is the core strategic decision, the one that's going to define the kind of impact you can actually have in your career. So, okay, what is this defining choice we're talking about? Well, it really comes down to the kind of problems you want to solve. Are you the person who restores order when things go wrong, or are you the one who forges something completely new from scratch? On the one hand, you've got this well-trodden circle. You know the one. It's comfortable, it feels safe, you know exactly where it goes, because it just leads you right back to where you started. But then, there's the other path. The unmarked descent, it's all jagged peaks, it's going to be a struggle, and honestly, you have no idea what's at the top. So, safety or struggle? That's the choice. Okay, so let's talk about the first path, the comfortable one. And this is the path that, let's be honest, most of us are on, even if we don't realize it. It's called the hero's journey, and it has become the default script for what success looks like in pretty much every company out there. This whole story even has a fancy name, the monomyth, and it is an incredibly powerful story, one that's literally baked into the DNA of how we talk about work. I mean, think about it. You see it in project kickoffs, you hear it in those quarterly town halls, it's even in how we celebrate our biggest wins. And the structure of this story, it's surprisingly simple, right? It's always these three acts. First, there's the departure. Some big problem yanks you out of your day-to-day. Then comes the initiation. This is where you fight the battles, you face all the trials. And then finally, the return. You come back, victorious, with the elixir, the solution that fixes everything that was broken. So who is this hero in the real world? Oh, you know him. It's the turnaround manager who swoops in to save a failing division. It's the crisis expert who puts out a PR fire. It's the project lead who somehow gets that train wreck of a project back on the rails. And look, their goal is absolutely noble. They're heroes. They put things back to normal. But here's the kicker. Is that all there is? And this is where things get interesting. Because inside this comfortable, familiar story, there's a trap. There's a real danger lurking here. And the irony is, the very thing that makes the hero's path so attractive, the comfort, the predictability, that's the exact thing that becomes its biggest cage. Which leads us to a pretty tough question we have to ask ourselves. Is that feeling of being welcomed back into the fold, back into the safe circle, is that really a reward? Or is it just a gilded cage that's actually holding you back from doing something truly great? Because make no mistake, this path has hidden costs. It teaches you to solve problems just enough to get back to the status quo. It's a story that celebrates being content, not being a game changer. It can even turn mentors into a kind of crutch, keeping you safely on the well-worn path. And in the end, it turns you into a guardian of the old order, not an architect of what's next. The term used in the source material is just perfect. A saccharine poison. Think about that. It tastes so sweet on the surface. You get the promotion, the recognition, the pat on the back, but underneath, it's slowly killing the spirit of real, genuine creation. And that's the bottom line. An organization that only rewards healers, well, it's never going to produce a trailblazer. But okay, that's just one path. There is another way. Remember that unmarked ascent we saw at the beginning? This is it. This is the radical, inward-looking journey of the creator, the path of the trailblazer. And here's the huge difference. This journey doesn't kick off because your boss gives you a crisis to solve. Nope. It starts with a conscious choice you make inside yourself. It starts with a profound act of rejection. You have to literally turn your back on the easy way out, on that whole marketplace mindset of searching for shortcuts and life hacks. The very first step is to reject ease itself. And just look at this contrast. It's so stark. The hero, they fight external enemies, right? A competitor, a bad economy, whatever. But the creator, their battle is almost completely internal. The biggest enemy isn't some dragon out there in the world. It's that voice of resignation deep inside your own soul. So, to win this internal war, the creator has to slay 3 inner dragons. The first one is called the shadow. We all know this one. It's that seductive little voice in your head when things get tough whispering, hey, just do what they expect. Take the easy route. It's that constant temptation to just settle for good enough when you know something incredible is possible.
Okay, dragon number 2, the soothsayer. Now this one's a little different. It's still the voice of cynicism, but it's coming from the outside. It's that colleague or maybe even your boss who tells you, why are you trying so hard? None of this matters anyway. Your big idea, it's not going to change anything. It's pure nihilism, and it's designed to make you give up.
And then there's the final boss, the chief opponent, the spirit of gravity. This isn't just a voice, it's a feeling. It's that soul-crushing weight of bureaucracy, of red tape, of corporate inertia. It's that heavy, draining feeling that whispers the most dangerous lie of all. This is just how things are done here. You can't change it.
So how in the world do you beat these things? Well, here's the key. The creator doesn't go out and find meaning. They create it. And this totally flips the script on that old idea of the will to power. It has nothing to do with dominating other people. The real will to power is that relentless internal fight for mastery over yourself.
So after conquering these inner dragons, after all that struggle, the creator finally makes it to the top of the mountain. But the journey isn't over. Because it's here, at the summit, that they face the final and most profound test of all. And this is it, the ultimate test. It's a concept called eternal recurrence. And I want you to really think about this for a second. If you had to live your career exactly as it is right now, with all the good stuff and all the frustrating stuff, over and over and over again for eternity, what would you do? Would you break down and weep in despair? Or would you shout for joy? Being able to shout for joy, that is the creator's ultimate goal. And if you can honestly answer yes to that question, it triggers one final incredible transformation. You stop being a moon, just passively reflecting the light, the values of everyone else around you. Instead, you become a sun, a source of your own light, creating your own values, generating your own meaning from the inside out.
All right, so let's just break this all down one last time. The hero's path, it's a circle. The whole point is to restore balance, fight some external crisis, and then get welcomed back into the group. But the creator's path, that's an ascent. The goal is to create something totally new by conquering your own inner demons, which leads to this state of constant becoming. You've got the healer versus the trailblazer.
And so that brings the choice right back to where we started, with you. In a world that's changing faster than ever, what do we really need more of? The healer, the one who patches things up and restores what we already know? Or the trailblazer, the one who's brave enough to smash the old way of doing things and create what's next? Healer or trailblazer? That's a choice only you can make.